And the recording has started. So let us start releasing the shoulders, which is a lovely, nice, gentle way to start class, but find a good semi-supine position. So lengthen the neck away. So you've got some length from the shoulders up to the crown of the head. Feel your sit bones on the mat. Try and get the lower ribs engaged on the mat, and then think about the front of the ribs knitting together as you draw your tummy button into your spine. Feel your feet, big toe, little toe and heel, firmly earthed. Just have a wriggle if you need to. And then you can hold your arms above your chest, either at wrist level or at elbow level, depending how much flexibility you've got through the shoulder joints. And as you breathe in, just tap down to the side, keeping the back of the shoulders on the mat. And breathe out to return. So if you find you're not reaching the mat with the elbow, again, just adjust the hand position, and one side might find it's freer than the other to start with. And you can direct your breath into the back of your shoulders, through the shoulder joint. It's always useful to take your attention to the area of the body that was moving, so you can notice what's going on. If you don't notice what's going on, you can't change it. Very obvious statement to make. So breathing in to tap down, breathing out to recenter. And again, just double check your ribs haven't suddenly popped up. You're not arching your back. Keep everything engaged. One more to each side. And we can take it into a clock. So tapping down, taking the arms up towards the head, round, back down to the other side and recenter. So all the time, keeping the back of the shoulders on the mat, finding some movements through the shoulder joint itself, engaging the abdominal muscles. Reversing the direction each time. I probably should have said that. And increase the breath. So you're trying to work through a whole in-breath and out-breath sort of circle. Just relaxing. That's looking good. Keeping the ribs at the front, drawing in together to keep everything engaged. One more time in each direction. And then you can take your hands by your sides once you're done. And we'll move on to our pelvic tilts. So nothing behind the head. Breathing out, just curl your pubic bone towards you a little bit to hover the bottom of the mat. And breathe in to place it down. And as you do that, think about pressing the feet into the mat and drawing the heels towards the bottom as well. So you feel the whole leg really nice and stable. Breathing out, peeling up a little bit higher. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, breathing in to place yourself down. Trying to minimize jerking that naturally happens when you're trying to control everything. Keeping the ribs knitting and making sure the pubic bone comes into the neutral position at the bottom of the movement. So when you place yourself down on the mat, curling it as much as possible each time and keeping it curled until that very last moment when the tailbone hits and you lengthen out again. Breathing out, curling higher. So the base of the scapula, bra strap level. Breath in to hold. And breathing out, so you're softening through the front of the body, keeping the ribs engaged, keeping the pubic bone curled as much as possible. And then relax back to neutral. Keep going, a few more. Breathing out, keeping the shoulders wide onto the mat. Breathing in to hold at the top. And breathing out, soften through the chest. Trying to place the upper back first, then middle back, then lower back. And uncurling the pelvis. 2 more for me. Breathing out, peeling off vertebra by vertebra as much as possible. Breath in at the top, nice and wide, deep breath. Breathing out, soften through the chest. Placing yourself down. And one final time, breathing out. This time, bring your arms up with you as you go. Breathing in, take them overhead. Leave them there as you breathe out, soften through the chest, placing everything down, bringing the arms back up to the ceiling. And from here, we will move on to arm and leg slides. So slide one leg away from you, opposite arm goes behind your head. And again, focus on knitting the ribs down, breathing in to recenter, breathing out to extend today. Breathing in to bring everything back to the center. So really think lengthening away for the arm and leg. Palms are facing away from you. Shoulders nice and relaxed. So slow down, Jeanette. So there's a little pause in the middle before the leg and arms slide away. I'm trying to keep the elbows as straight as possible, which you both do very well, much better than me. So drawing the arm and leg to the center, hold there, and then extend away. Good. Using that breath, finding movement and length. And one more on each side. That's it. And you can then, when you've finished your last one, bring your arms behind your head. So you're holding your head in your hands, pressing your head into your hands. Tailbone stays down. We breathe out. Knit the ribs together, slide them towards the pelvis to curl up, and breathe in to extend back down. So it might not be a high lift. I want the pelvis to stay earth. So think about the tailbone firmly placed on the mat, the ribs sliding towards each other, then down towards the hips. That's it. Good. Breathing out. And in to return. Good. So really think, keeping the elbows wide, pressing the head back into the hands so you're not pulling on your neck. All the work's coming from the abdominal area to lift you up. So it might not be a big lift. It's not a big stomach crunch. Two more. Jackie, just slide your feet slightly further away from you. I just want to see what that does. That's better. Good. One more. Lovely. If you need to, hug your knees in to your body for a little breath. And then when you've had a moment, feet back down. We're going to curl back up again. We're going to bring our legs one up at a time and place them down. So just marching, basically, to start with. So all the time, focusing on ribs to hips tummy button nailing through your body, pressing your head into your hands, breathing through that, just lifting and lowering a leg. Not moving your body at all, just allowing the legs to work. And then staying up there, lift one knee into tabletop and extend the arms to the ears. And we're going to do opposite arm and leg. So this is our challenge. So as we change with that marching, you're tapping with the opposite hand. So you need to keep the chin nodded, tummy button nailing down, and keep breathing. So you'll soon start to tire, a nice little wake up coordination bit. So we're toe tapping, opposite arm comes to the knee that's lifting towards us. Other arm goes behind us, keeping the chin nodded, keeping the tummy button nailed in. That's it. And 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. And you can hug your knees in again for a little moment. Breathe. Lovely. Keeping the head and neck down. If you want a cushion or pad behind your head for balance, for comfort, feel free. Arms just loosely by your side, legs into tabletop. We'll do a lovely hip release or hip rolls. So they go over to one side. As you breathe in, breathing out, tummy button to spine to draw them back to center. Keeping the back of the shoulders onto the mat, just the lower half. Rotating. If it's too much on the back today, keep your feet down. Breathing out to center, breathing in to rotate, breathing out to center. If you want more of a challenge, as you breathe in to rotate the knees to one side, you can extend one or both legs, tummy button to spine to center, and go the other way. You want to focus on having the knees in the same place, so one doesn't slide across the other. And of course, if you want to, you can keep the legs long. And for that, I would have your toes pointing out, so sort of ballet first position. So you're getting some inner thigh connection. Oh, look at you, fabulous. Really use the breath. And for extra challenge with long legs, you can obviously angle them slightly further down towards the floor, but make sure that doesn't arch your lower back. So find a position that you're really having to work through that feels safe, no ouches. You're allowed a, ooh, that's hard, but not an ouch, that hurts. One more to each side. And then as you've got long legs, lower them away from you ever so slightly. Extend your arms, hover them off the floor, nod the chin, curling up. Turn your toes out and beat the arms, and we'll breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, out, in, out. Keep it there if you want to. You can obviously bend your knees in, put your feet down, but keep the chin nodded, keep curling, keep breathing, keep beating from the armpits. Lovely. And nearly there. 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time. 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hug your knees in. Good. Fantastic. 400. I lost count, but you definitely did more than that. Wonderful. All right. Extend your left leg along the floor. Right leg extends to the ceiling. Take your arms a little bit wider if you need to, and we will leg circle. So you swoop round, find a point to spot on the ceiling, And swoop it around one way, 8. And then 8 in the other direction. And the focus is keeping the other bum cheek down on the ground. So you're not lifting the left leg off the floor as you circle the right leg. Jeanette, keeping a little bit smaller, I can see some movement. So you really want to control it again through the abdominals. That's lovely. Same with you, Jackie. Keep it a little bit smaller if you need to bend the knee. So it's not straining the back so much. Do that. It's all about opening the hip and getting movement through the hip as well as controlling. So 8 in both directions and then change legs. Keep the neck nice and long, keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. And as you'll both be working at different speeds, please just, when you're done, hug your knees in and have a moment to rest and breathe and consolidate. So Jeanette, if you can, long right leg along the floor. That's it. And keep the circle smaller so you're really fully in control. Using the breath. Good. So just enjoy the rest, Jackie. Good. Fabulous. Lovely. It's always good to watch you. All right, new challenge today. So Jackie, I'm not sure how you're going to find this one. It's like rolling. So with the rolling like a ball, trying to roll forward and back without kicking our feet away. This is seal. So we start with the feet together, arms go through our knees and we hold the outside of our ankles and balance. We do 3 claps, roll it back, 1, 2, 3, roll it up and balance, 1, 2, 3. So obviously I know you've got the limitations of the back. So I don't want you to hurt anything. So if it's just a case of challenging your balance, do that. So 3 claps, 1, 2, 3. That's it, Jeanette. Rolling back, keep the chin nodded. And when you stay back, try and hold the balance and clap as well overhead. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Roll it up. 1, 2, 3. Roll it back. 1, 2, 3. Roll it up. 1, 2, 3. It's a daft thing, absolutely daft. You've got a massive excuse, Jackie. Don't worry about it. Brilliant, Jeanette. Try and keep the knees bent. That's it. Wonderful. Just do a couple more. No, don't push it, Jackie. You're doing fantastic. Oh. And then once you've done your last one, lie back. We'll get on to single leg stretch. So just nodding the chin, curling forward, lifting legs into tabletop one at a time. And then we extend one leg and change legs. All the time thinking that tummy button nailing down. If you want to take the long leg towards the floor, feel free. I like to get a little bit of extra stretch through the front of my hip and the hip flexor. Just breathe every time. And you're trying to keep your chest towards your legs, rather than bringing your legs into your chest. That again will change the dynamic of work and really lengthening the long leg away. If it's too much on the back at any point, just lie back and draw a knee in. Just a couple more of the basic ones. Lovely, Jeanette, good. And let's add on the single straight leg stretch as well. So we'll do 3 changes to 1, then the long leg comes up to the ceiling floor, up to the ceiling floor, up to the ceiling floor for 3, and then 3, change 2, change 1, and the other leg should be long, coming up and down and up and down. So all the time, that deep abdominal work. So you should really feel it between your tummy button and pubic bone. All that effort. Lovely. Really nice, Jackie. It's looking very effortless, Jeanette. Brilliant. Keep breathing, use your breath. Breathing out through slightly pursed lips. Breathing in through the nose, deep into the back and sides of your ribs. Working hard to stay up there, you're nearly there. 1 more set each side. And when you've done them, hug your knees in, stretch the back out, rock from side to side. Fabulous. We're motoring through these today. So coming up to sitting, we will challenge our obliques this time with our spine twist and saw. So Jackie, if you want to sit on something to give you a bit of height, or keep your knees bent, if that's more comfy on your back, you can even sit on the chair or do all of this standing up. Really don't mind. Jeanette, find your sit bones, long, long legs. Think back of the knees towards the mat, lifting the heart nice and tall, arms out to the side. And they're going to stay where they are. Going to breathe in, rotate the ribs one way. Breathe out, tummy button to spine to come back to center. Breathe in, rotate the ribs the other way. And back to center. So imagine you've got a nice dance teacher beating her big long pole. And she puts it up your spine and across the shoulders. So as you rotate and breathe in, you don't want to feel a hip hitching and shifting your legs. They stay glued together. The shoulders are relaxed. And again, so much work happening in the obliques. That's it. Yeah, there'll be a lot of strain on your back, Jackie, so keep the knees bent, I think. And if it's too much on the shoulder, you can also cross your arms in front of your chest. That's it. That's it, Jeanette. Lovely. Try doing them standing up, Jackie, because, okay. 1 more each side. Oh, sunshine, oh my Lord. Then separate the legs and give them a shake if you feel any tension in the front. And we'll spine stretch forward. So nodding the chin, think tummy button drawing in. As you reach the arms forward, someone's pulling your waist backwards and you're nodding your head between your arms. And then coming to sit tall. And then breathing out. So I'm trying to think of dance equivalents. All I can think of is the sort of modern dancing when the man is lifting the lady and she's reaching away with arms and legs. And sitting up tall. So it's all happening at the waist area rather than the upper back if possible. which I find a big challenge. Good. That's it. And use your breath, breathing out, draw the tummy button into the body. It's almost like a little pelvic tilt as you're sitting there as you reach forward, aiming to reach between the toes. That's it. Good, Jackie. Lovely, Jeanette. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed, chin nodded, nice and tall, so you've got strings up your back. One more of these. And then bring your arms out to the outside edges of your legs, and we'll put it all together with the saw. So breathing in to rotate, breathe out, reach forward, saw off the little toe, arms going opposite directions, breathing in to roll back up, breathing out to center, breathing in to rotate, breathing out to reach, and again, opposite bum cheek stays down at all times. So all the work is happening through rotation points in the spine, and using your breath, breathing out to reach and soar, breathing in to restack, breathing out to center. Nodding the chin, rolling forward, reaching for the little toe, lovely, Jackie, rolling back up. Breathing out to center, good, breathing in to rotate. Breathing out, reach and stretch forward. That's it. Lovely. Really nice work. That's it. Breathing out to center. Breathing in to rotate, Jeanette. Nod the chin, roll it forward rather than hinging. Roll it back up and center. One more each side. Good. That's it. Lovely. Then relax and have a wiggle. Shake those legs. It's tough. Those series are really, really tough. Make me sweat buckets. So let us roll over onto our fronts. We'll have a moment's breather. We will start to utilize the back chain of our body. So either with a pad under your forehead or just your hands. Separate your legs ever so slightly. Feel the front of your body on the mat. Really think about the pubic bone earthing through the mat to the floor below. Stretching the legs away from you, separated slightly, and the back of the shoulders drawing down your body. And we'll focus on our bum squeezing, our glute squeezes. So as you breathe out, squeeze the bottom 100% effort. Hold it for a count of 5. And then relax. And again, breathing out. So there shouldn't be any hitching. You should still feel the pubic bone earthed where it started. And you're taking your attention to the sides and back of your bottom. If you're finding there's a lot of movement in your legs as you do this, and you can't get your bum to squeeze, you can turn your toes out so you're resting on your big toe joints, and that sometimes helps isolate certainly more of the glute medius and minimus on the side. So keeping those shoulders relaxed. I'm looking for the difference in the squeezing and the relaxing. That's it, that's all looking great. So using your breath count to 5, 100% squeeze, and then relax. Two more of these. And after your last one, relax a little bit. If you haven't got something under your forehead, you might want it for balance. Otherwise, you'll just balance your nose. Bring your legs closer together. Just think about the front of your thighs. You might need to shift your legs a bit to make sure the front of the thighs are fully engaged onto the mat. Again, tailbone reaching away, pubic bone earthed. Bring your arms by your side, allow the shoulders to roll forward, and we will do our arrow. So on the in-breath, we lift the shoulders away from the mat. Keep them lifted, slide them down your body, which lifts the arms as you breathe in. And rotate the arms so the thumbs turn to the ceiling. And breathing out, place yourself back down. Breathing in to lift the shoulders, breathe out, reach them to your toes. Breathing in, rotate. And breathing out, place yourself down. And really allow the shoulders to fall towards the mat so we get the difference on the in-breath as they lift. Breathing out to reach them to hips to hover the arms. Breathing in to rotate. And breathing out, place yourself down. The legs don't move, the pelvis doesn't move. We're getting back extension in the top of the spine, around the shoulders. Keep it nice and slow and long and low. Crown of the head is reaching away, so chin's nodded. That's it, lovely, Jackie, good. Great control. Good. So Jeanette, lift the shoulders away from the mat as you breathe in. Slide them down your back to hover the arms. Think about rotating the shoulders so the thumbs turn towards the ceiling as you hold and breathe in. That's it. And breathing out, place yourself down. And allow the shoulders to really fall back towards the mat. Have a couple more. So good, this back extension. Certainly for me at the minute, I'm feeling I'm hunching forward so much in daily life with the phones and computers. That's it. Keep the chin nodded a bit more, Jackie. That was it. It was looking really good. Gorgeous. One more. And if you need to sit back into a child pose in between, feel free. Because we're going to stay down working on our front for a short while. So you can take the knees really nice and wide. Send your tailbone towards your heels, stretch out. And then coming back down onto the mat. Legs slightly separated. Again, still thinking about the front of your thighs on the mat. So you're on the front of your feet and arms stretching out in front as well. And we will work on our swimming. So you're going to start squeezing the bum about 50% effort, keeping the tailbone down, lifting and lowering opposite arm and leg. Again, keeping it really straight. So imagine someone's pulling the arm and pulling the leg. So there's no bend in the knee and the elbow, but everything's happening on the big shoulder blades for the arms. And at the point where the leg meets the bum for the leg. You might not get much of a lift, and you're trying to minimize any rocking of the body. So nice and slow to start with. And again, think like the arrow. So we're really wanting length and hover rather than real height for anything. We want to get those muscles working and engaging, keeping the head down for now. Using a breath. That's it, good. One more on each side. And then have a moment's rest. If you need to bend the elbows just to relax the shoulders, do. Then lengthen away again. This time, squeeze the bum to lift the legs off the floor, nice and long. Think about tummy button drawing into the body, sliding the shoulders down to lift and come up into a little skydiver position. And then from here, we can speed it up a bit more, tapping opposite arm and leg down to the mat. But again, focusing on long and length and keeping any rocking from side to side in the body to the absolute minimum. That's it. Fabulous. Good. Challenge yourself. See how fast you can tap opposite arm and legs without rocking. And keeping that coordination going. Of course, just resting whenever you need to. That's it. I'm going to count you down for 10, 9, 8, 7. You can keep going fast. 6, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Brilliant. That was fantastic. And again, sit back into a child pose. Really give yourself a moment just to stretch out the back and the shoulders. Breathing deeply, coming back onto our front. We will continue with our swan dive, moving on from last week. So putting all of that together. This time, want your legs separated and turned out so you are resting on your big toe joints, arms out in front. We'll start with a little cobra. So 50% squeeze of the bottom, pubic bone earth. You draw nice long arms. So you're coming up into a lift, stretching the front of your body. And we send the arms away, lift the legs, or allow the legs to hover. So you're squeezing the bottom, which keeps the legs engaged. And you're trying to rock forward and back without smashing your forehead on the mat. If that's too much on the back, just focus on maybe lifting the legs a little bit and lowering them down, keeping the front of the body down. Or you can just practice bending the elbows to lift and lower the legs and the body. That's it, Jeanette, fantastic. So crown of the head reaching away, the arms stay lifted. As you reach a little bit, just a couple more because it's a hefty one. I'm making you work quite hard today. Final time. Good. And definitely again, sit back into a nice deep child pose. Really walk your hands in so you help your bum reach your heels if you need to. And then a final time onto our front for our single leg kick. So I'm focusing quite a lot on more classical Pilates today, the official exercises. So come onto your forearms, legs again slightly separated, front of the thighs, earthed on the mat. Thinking about you're not sinking down into the shoulders, you're drawing up through the tummy button, shoulders down your back, 50% squeeze of the bum, and with 3 little kicks in on each side. 2, 1, and extend back to the mat. So again, my attention is trying to think about my heel being in line with the middle of my bum, having to stay up and not sink into the shoulders. And the more you do, the more you should feel your hamstrings. That's it. Really think lifting up through the tummy button. Think oranges under armpits and that armpit to hip connection, lifting away from the mat. And if you're finding it fairly easy and nothing seems to be working in the back of your legs, think about lengthening and hovering the legs ever so slightly. Even if they don't, it's just that thought process that gets the muscles doing their thing. That's it, Jeanette, good. As ever, Jackie, I'm in awe of your hamstrings. They are so good. Do one more on each side. And then when you finish, big, big, big stretch back out in a child pose. Breathe deeply. And you can walk your hands to one side. So you're getting a little stretch down the side of your body. Back to center. And then over to the other side. Fabulous. Okay, nothing behind the head. We're going to lie on our backs and do some bridging. So after all that back extension, you should feel your shoulders perfectly placed on the mat. And again, the ribs engaged. So very simple start, squeezing those bums, hamstrings to lift up into a long, long, lean line. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. You should be able to nod your head, rock it from side to side quite happily, and then almost a karate chop at the hips to come back down. So think breathing out, narrowing, lifting and squeezing from the bum and hamstrings. Breath in to hold, breathing out to come down. We'll just keep it at the basic level to start with. So you don't want your pelvis higher than your knees. You want to keep a long, long line, which is where knitting the ribs together really helps with that thought process. So breathing out to lift. Think knees towards toes a little bit more, Jeanette. And karate chopping down. And Jeanette, probably bring your feet slightly closer to your bottom when next time you're down. And then you can think, breathing out, lift and lengthen, that's it, good. And we'll add on to that. So breathing out to lift, we're just going to lift one leg up towards the ceiling with a bent knee and place it down. So marching, keeping up all the time, thinking length away from the body. The challenge of just changing without dropping. One more on each leg. And then karate chop down. And we can add on to that. So breathing out, lift. And we can lift opposite arm and leg. See how we do there. And if you want, just hover the arms by your side. All the time, focus on lifting and lengthening away. Excuse me. That's it, Jeanette, good. Final time on each side. And then karate chop back down. Lovely work. And then let's roll over onto our sides. Just use an arm under your head. Think about angling your knees slightly away from you, heels in line with your bum, and we will do our shell. So breathing out, thinking about lifting the knee and closing it down. So we don't want to rock at all. Keeping hip over hip, knee over knee, and the feet glued together. And underneath waist drawing up. Final one, keep the knees together. 5, opening of the lower legs, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, putting it all together. So open, and open, and 2, and 2, and 3, and 3, and 4, and 4, and 5, and 5. Lovely. Extending arms and legs away. As always, thinking about just being able to see your toes out of the corner of your eye, and breathing out, squeeze, lift and hover, and breathing in to place yourself down. Underneath waist drawing up, I think lengthening away, and placing yourself down. Keep going. Lovely. Very nice. Breathing out to lift, thinking the underneath leg, lifting both it and the top leg. Getting length through the top line of your body. Good. 2 more. That's it, Jackie. Good. Final time. Make it a goodie. And then lifting the top leg to hip height, stretching it away. Underneath leg, think inner thigh squeezing up and down. Remember the foot is just there. It's not doing anything. All the work's happening in that inner thigh. Nice long legs. Yeah, fab. Yes, 2 more. And then bend the underneath leg. Take it behind you, come up to kneeling. Do our side kick. Where we can see me. Lifting it to hip height if you can, and 2 kicks forward, squeeze the bum to take it back. So trying to keep the body stable. You've got a lot of work through the abdominals, through the obliques on the side. That's it, lovely. Trying to keep it away from the floor at the height it starts. 1 more. And then bend, come to kneeling. And I think we go straight onto the other side for our shell. So find a nice position that's comfy, shoulders over shoulders, hip over hips, knees over knees. Think about just angling them away, then breathing out to lift and open and down. And 4 and 3 and 2, shoulders relaxed, and 1. And then the lower leg lifts for 5 and 4. So the same thing, try not to rock forward, and 3. All the movements, just the leg in the hip joint. And final time, putting it all together. 5, 5, 4, 3, and 2. Walk it off, Jackie. And 1. Lengthening away, coming onto the side proper. So again, you can have a pad between your ear and your arm. Legs long so you can see them. And breathing out to lift and hover. Breathing in to place yourself down. And at any tension in the neck, obviously just look towards the mat, or you can keep your head down. So no bananaing in the middle, real length both ends. That's it. That's lovely, Jackie. Good. Lovely, Jeanette. Keeping the legs glued together. Two more. Liking this very much. And then lift the top leg to hip height, and then it's the underneath leg lifts and lowers, focusing on the inner thigh. So again, you can have a hand in front for balance. And if you find you're clenching the shoulders to try and keep you balanced, definitely use a hand in front. So it's the inner thigh lifting and squeezing up. Good. One more. And then it's our side kick. So bend the underneath leg, come to kneeling, top leg stays long. You're thinking oranges under armpit, armpit down to hip. Sorry, the camera angle here is a little bit odd. Lifting the top leg to hip height, 2 kicks forward, squeeze it behind. And using your breath, keeping your body nice and stable. It's hard work. It's so good for us. 2 more. Final one. Good. Then kneeling, give the wrists a little bit of a shake and a wiggle, because we're going to have our nice little plank front pull challenge. Assuming you're happy, shoulders drawing down your back, taking shoulders over arms, stepping one leg back, then the other leg back into our nice plank. Front pull. Jeanette, just lift your bum ever so slightly. Yep, and we stay on this position and we rock forward and back on our toes for 3. Tummy button to spine. You don't shift your back. You lift one long leg, rock forward and back for 3. Change sides, rock forward and back. So you're just sliding the body forward and back. It's not lifting or lowering. And then place your knees down. If you need to release the wrists, release the wrists. And we'll go back into that position for one final challenge on planking. So we're going to have an oblique twist here. So what we're going to do is lift our left leg out and our right arm to the left shoulder. And you bring your bum down and come back up and then change the other way. So all the time I'm thinking tummy button to spine to take the strain out of my shoulders, thinking armpits. If that's too much today, then just bend one knee to the opposite elbow, just to start getting that feeling through. That's it, Jeanette. Perfect. Releasing armpits. Keep it safe. Lovely, Jackie. Good. One more each side if you can. We're building up to a crescendo. Fabulous. And then finish the one you're on. Lovely. Haven't finished with it yet. We'll do it backwards. So hands behind us. Think lifting the heart, legs long if you can to lift up into a nice long back plank. So chin stayed nodded, thinking those ribs knitting together. And then we're just going to tap in for 3 with one leg. And then 3, 2, 1 with the other, all the time trying not to drop the hips and come and sit down, release the wrists, and then I can watch what you're up to. So sit in between, Jeanette, have a rest. That's it, Jackie. Think squeezing the bum, squeezing the hamstrings, wide shoulders, lifting the heart. Jeanette, nod your chin. There's no tension on the neck, she says, laughing. 3 one leg, 3 the other, then sit down. Fab, 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 fab. Yes, stretch forward. So I'm going to finish with a boomerang, which we've not done. And again, Jackie, this might be a bit too much on your back. So if it is, because it's a lot of rolling and legs overhead, it's just lie back and do some toe taps or some rolly balances. Jeanette, you're going to love this one. So we're going to start with our legs out in front, hands by our sides, tummy button to spine. We're going to hinge back, lift the legs, take them overhead. We're going to cross them for 3. Tummy button to spine, nod the chin, come up to balance, cross them for 3. Dying swan. And then take yourself back overhead. So it's a bit of everything put together. It's my favouriteest exercise from Pilates of all time. Not that I can do it particularly gracefully, but it's just lovely. Yes. Oh, Jeanette, lovely, lovely. Knew you'd be able to do it, no problem. No. Brilliant. Yes. Arms and legs go back with you. Arms overhead. That's it. Cross, cross, cross. Yes, Jackie, good. Yeah, well held. Fabulous. One more time, whatever you're doing. Tummy button to spine, nodding the chin, coming up to balance. That's it. Cross, cross, cross. Dying swan forward. Brilliant. Oh, what should we finish off with? I think just lie back. We will do our nice wide hip rolls. So legs either side of the mat. And we can just relax by sending one knee to the ground, other knee to the opposite ankle. And if you want, you can have hands behind head, turning away from those knees, then really breathe into the front of the hip that's stretched and try and find a little bit more length. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then next out breath, tummy button to spine. Stretching out the other way. Looking away from the legs. And again, trying to find length through the front of the hip. And then next out breath. One more on each side. Really aiming that second knee towards the ankle of the first leg. And then return to center on your next out breath. And final time the other way. And then turn to look at your knees, rolling over, coming up to kneeling. And we'll finish with a lovely cat stretch. So starting with a nice flat back, just tucking the tailbone under, drawing up through the tummy button. Someone's walking their hands up your spine, keeping their shoulders wide, dropping the head at the last moment for a nice deep breath. And then unpeeling from the tailbone first until you come from that flat back. And then start the other way. So the head drops first between the arms. You push up through the shoulders, arching the upper back, then arching the middle back, tucking the tailbone under. Breath in to hold. Unpeel from the head. So I like to soften the shoulders first. Unpeel the neck. So you're in a nice flat back again. And then one from the center. So someone's holding through your waist, drawing you up. So your tailbone and head tuck under. And then they lightly press on the middle back to flatten you out again. And sit back. Release the wrists. If you want to release the shoulders, just press them across the body. Breathe, feel snug. You're done again.